Good morning, Da Vinci, Martin, how's it going? So, didn't get out, well, I was out here, but time did not allow to stream yesterday, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't doing anything. I started working on another tool head. This is how far we've gotten on tool head number 2. Tool head number 1 is built. It's over there, chilling. But today we're going to work on putting the belts onto the gantry, and we're going to work on installing docks. This whole bit docks, all of it docks. TGM, what's up, bud? How are you doing today? So we've got the belts. Got them measured, and then we've got our tap changer carriage, and we're going to get this party started because I've got limited amounts of time this morning to make any progress, and I do want to make some progress. What the heck size is this thing? 1.3, 1.5. Okay, minus 1.5. Alright, so take the belt clamps off of this. Come over here to this. So we're going to take these belt clamps off. We're going to put them off to the side. I would like to do it because I've lined up all of these pins with these docks. With this in the position it is in, so I'd like to do this without taking these screws and taking this off. So there's some screws there that allow you to take this off. I'd like to do it without removing that. So what we're going to do to start with is see if that is possible. The answer to that question is no. All right, so we're gonna have to take this off. Captain, good morning. There's some alignment pins on here though, so it's more than just these 2 screws that hold it in. To position, so good deal on that. There's 2 alignment pins on there. All right, so first things first, 2, 4, 6. Get the same number of teefies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 and 6, fantastic. This can take 9mm belts. Interesting. Yeah. So if anybody was wondering, you can use 9mm belts on this thing. LTX, what's up, bud? Brad, good morning. So Brad was telling me this morning that if anybody's interested in an Anycubic Cobra X, they're down to, what'd you say, 329, Brad? I don't have an affiliate link, so I don't stand to make anything, whether you buy one or not. Makes no matter to me. What in the... Why is... That was weird. $2.59 after coupon. Holy cow. That's a pretty good deal. For anybody that doesn't know, Cobra X works kind of like it's a bed slinger, the 4-into-1 like tool head thing. So there's no filament feeding or anything. You just stick your filaments down in there and off you go. Which seems to have proven to be the most reliable way to go about it. But yeah. So it's like a 4-into-1 multiplexer tool head design. Mike, how's it going? All right. Let me pull up some instructions. Nope, that's not a review. I'll change it now. Shuttles, that's what we're looking for. Buffering, it's not going to want to do anything. Shuttle. Shuttle insulation LDO. Removes that, removes that, did that, did that. M3x5 socket heads, but yet you're showing me button heads, sir. You're showing me button heads. Oh, look. It comes with some little LDO wrenches. Perfect. Mine were getting pretty crappy at this particular size. And this came with 1.5 and 2mm straight drivers. My straight drivers are just cheap Eklund brand ones from Amazon. These ones are titanium nitride coated shafts and the likes. We're gonna utilize them. PCB end stop. Backplate pins. Everybody machine screws. Dock this. Patrick, how's it going? Wrath, what's up, bud? 3x6s. Well, it says socket heads. We've got socket heads here. It just pictures button heads, so we'll just assume that everybody knew what they were doing except for the guy that made the picture. All right, let's grab screwdriver. Now I'm gonna tightly attach these, just loosely kind of attach them into position. Just so it doesn't go floating around. There we are. Let's see. Top belt is going to go to the back. Get up on your roller. Why don't you want to go on your roller? No, get out of the extrusion. Out of the extrusion. Get out. There we go. Oh, no, what are you doing? Get back up there. I feel like Adam Sandler yelling at a golf ball about going in its home. It's bottom belt. Yeah, they're coming. Around. Yeah. Back around. I'm here. There we go. There. Here. Pull this through. Around this pulley. here. First time belting an all-wheel drive setup. Let me rotate. Let's do the bottom belt first, since it doesn't have to do anything with the this rear drive gear. Now, we run into an issue. These belts are not long enough. Waiting on the kid to go fishing. Nice. So my littlest one has been very excited. She's gonna leave a day early to go down on vacation with her grandparents and aunts and uncles and stuff. But she's going down with her uncle and aunt and a day early so they can do some cool things. And part of that is go fishing. She's wanted to go fishing her entire life and has yet to get to go fishing. So she's really excited about that. Yeah, the belts are too short. So, I have some belts here. I think they're just generic belts. I don't think they're gates. They're, well, Zello. They're just reinforced rubber belts. I think that's why I never used them. Probably work fine for your ender, but I would definitely not trust them for this. Yeah, 6mm GT2 belts. The problem we're gonna have with the belts is getting them on Amazon. You end up with crap like this where it said gates and shows up and isn't. Pretty much the only ones I trust with that are the, our suppliers like KB3D, Fabrico, West 3D, Digital Dragon 3D if he has them. That's the issue with that. I don't have any other ones, but these are too short. How long? Oh shit. So these ones are 2 meters a piece. So you probably get go with like 3 meters each. or just order a 6 meter length of it from somebody. Either way, but this ain't gonna work. I don't know that this would have even belted it without the all-wheel drive. What is going on with that rail? This one y-axis linear rail is going to be something you're going to want to keep an eye on. I don't know if it's just like because the gantry's kind of whatever because it hasn't QGL'd, or if the rail itself is maybe not so bueno. So, now we've tried and failed at that. We will try installing some docks. They won't get too much in the way of trying to belt this thing, so we'll just go with that route. What do you guys think? Just build some docks? Screws in here. Excuse me, I need to take this. All that. I love it. Love it when you answer and they just fucking hang up on you. All right. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think 2 meter long belts is the length you need for a 300 build. That trash truck driver drives that truck in reverse like he's in NASCAR racing. You guys remember the Pepsi commercial with Jeff Gordon? They're blasting around industrial parks with scaring the shit out of that guy. So, for breakfast this morning, I decided to have an everything bagel and put extra everything bagel seasoning on it. Because it is the best way to eat an everything bagel, is with everything and all of the seasoning. Go back into your home. These belts, they just don't want to go where you tell them to. Right, so this can get moved out of the way for now. Rotate. There we are. Yes. Let's go over here and grab some dock stuff. Somewhere in here is the docks. Everybody needs a good dock. Speaking of, Doc was on the podcast on Friday. If you didn't see that, yeah, 3.5 meters each would be long enough. Yeah, so 7 meters of belt total. Belts can get super expensive, by the way. Why are belts so damn expensive? Go to site. 6 millimeter. So the 9 millimeter is 3.5 meters. Yes. They do hold up your pant. So yeah, you're gonna want the top option, high temp EDM 6 millimeter. It looks like it's $9 a meter. So you're gonna want to do quantity 7. And then that'll give you one 7 meter long belt. All right, let's go over here. Look at the dockies. Docks. Door buffer, modular docks. Modular dock, base, ant head. Bench is getting to be a mess. Oh yeah, I'll shoot you a message later. So let's see. That's not the piece we need. That's not the piece we need either. it. This is it. We found it, ladies and germs. Now we just need to find the rest of them. Three of them. 4 and 5 of them. Hit it with a little bit of torchy torch. Excellent. He says, let's go. You're gonna switch to suspenders. Nice. All right. One. So again, this is going to be 5 tool heads, so we have 5 of these docks. Kirkman, good morning. How are you today, sir? Step 1. Okay, now we need these big hunkas. Acid Fly Studio, what's up, brother? Getting through the day to start Printer Palooza for 4 days starting tomorrow. What's Printer Palooza? Maker Viking. Yeah, here we've got Memorial Day weekend this weekend. Yeah, Mike's got a really long holiday weekend going on. Let's just put all 10 of these heat sets in. Just count through and whack them all in there. Still got a couple things I need to print for this. I realized I need to print some channel covers to keep the wires down for the all-wheel drive stuff. I need to print the parts, the panel clips.
This is the future. Evolution. This is the future.
Anybody else build one of these? How tedious are these docks?
Evolution. This is the future.
All right.
Human error.
When are you gonna work on your NG, Mike? You come worked on my NG. You worked on your other buddy's NG.
This is the future. Evolution.
Maybe that should be the next the focus of the next maker meetup, is just to get Mike's NG going.
Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out. And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out. Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you, to keep you? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep
Yeah, that's what we'll do. That'll be fun. All the NG work you've done, you've got to have one running yourself, man.
How you held me then. Now you got me reaching out. Yeah. And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out. Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you, to keep you? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're
All right, now we need to break out
down in the deep of my mind, trying so hard not to keep you, to keep you.
some super glue. Yeah, I understand. All right. So this is going to sit in here like so. RJ. Well, we need this because I've installed magnets in the bottom. And we need the other magnets to line up properly. Beauty! What's up, brother?
How long do I gotta keep you?
What you been designing, Beardy? For those that don't know, Bearded Printer makes and designs some really, really cool stuff. If you haven't checked it out yet, you need to go check it out. Somebody drop a link to Beardy's stuff in chat, please. So there beeth one dock. Thank you, RJ. And if you're interested in watching somebody work in Fusion and make you feel really bad about your Fusion skills, check out his Twitch streams. Morning, Clownhammer. How you doing, bud? RS makes rod. There's two. They were tight. Try to. Yeah. So you kind of need something that aggregates the two chats together. Listen, Beardy, I know we've talked about the Flexi Stegosaurus, but if you could make a Flexi twerking millwright, I think it'd make a lot of people happy, really. Martin, from what I've been told, talking to Vile Mods, who streams Blaster content over on Twitch, you kind of got to get to the point where you're like, you can't just jump onto the platform and start streaming the stuff. You gotta get to partner or associate, whatever they call their stuff over there. It is something I've recently considered, though, because I've got the 1886 Vulture build all printed and ready to be put together, and the Ontos almost done being printed to put together. And it's not like I use Twitch anyways, so I don't have a whole lot to lose if they ban me, right? So I was thinking about firing up stream over there and just trying it out. I need a drink. Do I have a coffee mug out here? Or are they all dirty and in the house? They're all dirty in the house. Damn it, Clark. Got a part of a can of Monster left from yesterday, I guess. Is that the Spanish tool head? What? What Spanish tool head? That's an ant head. Is there something I don't know about? Dun, 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 dun. Almost done with these magnets. It gets extremely boring doing the same thing over and over when you're building multiples of the same part. You guys have that issue? All right, last two magnets, I think, maybe. Turn to autopilot and go. I don't know. It used to not bother me, but I think working in a factory for long enough, you start getting really fucking irritated with repetitive shit. Huh? I didn't post anything on your Discord. I didn't post it anywhere, honestly. Are you thinking about Phil? Yeah, it's going to be 5 tool heads. I think we did the short frame for the crossbar thing. Shit, we're back to more heat sets. Damn it, RJ, why'd you put so many heat sets in this? That ain't it. That ain't it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're running out of parts that they could possibly ask me to put heat sets in. That's the good news. Well, you know how it goes, man. At this point, you're getting blamed for everything. Anytime a laser catches fire. Yeah. All those things. All the things. It's best at this point just to embrace it. Yes. Sorry. I just pictured RJ doing all the like flips and stuff like Chris Farley was trying to do. Oh shit. You know, maybe that's the thing we can get Hollywood to work on, you know, with all the remakes and reboots that they're doing. Maybe we can get them to reboot that franchise and cast RJ in it. And just see it now. RJ's next stream is just him practicing standing front flips in the yard. That would be great. My favorite thing about that movie was it was like a bunch of studio execs sitting around going, let's make a movie about ninjas in America. Who should we cast? Wrong answers only. And they fucking went with it. Fire sale after Murph. What? Yep. Yep. Hey man, I love the Ninja Turtle movies. I make an argument that they stand as great movies even today. I love Mikey's line. They're walking in to look for Raphael at the Foot Clan's like junkyard or whatever it was, and they're like, it's a little too quiet, Mikey. Or somebody says it's awfully quiet. Mikey goes, yeah, a little too quiet. And someone's like, there's Raph. Mike's like, yeah, a little too Raph. Fucking hilarious. All right, well, I guess we've got to put heat sets in the bottom of all of these. Two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. John Doe, good morning. How's it going? I thought you had the V0 belted already. Weren't you doing that the other night? I suppose you were doing it with the girlfriend, so I guess other things could have come up, you know. Wink, wink. Need to go see. I think we got extra heat sets, but if we did not, we are in real fucking trouble, gents. Even if we did, I still don't know if it's going to be enough. Yardstick, Jesus. Getting dark in the chat over here. My dad, there was not very many times that we got beat. He just had to look at us. In fairness, normally all I have to do is look at either of my two older children and they snap into doing what they're supposed to be doing. My youngest child, no. My youngest child looks at you and in a very 6-year-old kind of way, figuratively flips you the fucking bird and carries on with whatever misbehavior she was doing and turns it up a notch. I'm not saying anything bad about any sort of parenting style. I think that everybody tries to do better than their parents did with them. Sometimes that backfires. But there's only so far you can move that needle from how you were raised by your parents, you know? You learn to parent from your parents. So I can't sit here and say bad things about people I don't know. If I know you, I'll say all sorts of wild shit. But if I don't know you, that's why you have cats. Cats are the same way as my youngest child. You tell them not to do something, they just go fuck you and carry on with whatever it was they were doing. Some dogs do too. The argument could be made it's even more frustrating when a dog does it, because dog, just based on their, you know, species, knows and can do otherwise. So I was watching this video recently about cats and why they are as they are. But their vocal range is quite a bit different than ours. And they're just tuned to pay attention to their own frequencies of whatever. And the human speech is kind of outside of that for what they pay attention to. So it's not necessarily that they're ignoring you, it's just that they consciously do not register your voice. Shadow! This is based on a Voron 2.4 350 millimeter printer. Right now we are putting bunches of heat sets in to build the docks that the tool heads will sit on. Yeah. But it was very interesting. If you're interested in that kind of random bits of knowledge, So this is going to be a Octopus Pro. No, this isn't, so there is actually no CAN bus in this. So it's all USB. The toolhead boards are all USB. The toolhead boards are the LDO Nighthawk 36 toolhead boards. You can kind of see one in there. This is one of the toolheads. That's the top piece to the left. Right piece is using M3x16 screws. Yeah, so I definitely prefer CAN bus over USB communication. Particularly for stuff like tool heads, but alas, the kits come with Nighthawk 36s and they are USB only. Right. M3x16. Shocker. Alright, let's... Which way? Okay, so... Luke, how's it going? If I'm not mistaken, some people have looked into it. So I've been stealing the heaters and thermistors out of the cheap Hazaday ones. Luke, we meant to ask you, so So those heaters and thermistors were too short, so I was having to extend them. We picked up one of the Fadus ones, but Fadus seems to only offer a version that goes into the that has the connectors for the bamboos. Do they not offer longer ones that are meant to be used with DIY printers for the Fadus ones? For the conch? We're trying to figure that out. Yeah, we're just taking the ones off of these Hazard Eve or Hazard Day, whatever they're called. Yeah, that's what I was trying to find. Was like, I didn't know if maybe there was another hot end that they made that used the same heater and thermistor, and maybe the LDO had just bought those heater and thermistors, or what the deal was. That might be the heater and thermistor off of the Rapido, now that I think about it. Well, I feel like we've made progress here. We're finally putting screws and parts in. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. This one's backward. All right. Clown Hammer, you guys were complaining about the number of heat sets in a dragster at Rocky Mountain. If you think that's a lot of heat sets, build one of these.
I could always be the one you wanna call when it's cold outside. I will always be the one that's right here standing by your side. Open up your heart and let me in. I promise not to break you. I promise I'll be all that you want. So let me in my heart before. Let me in. Oh, your love explodes.
Luke, how's that rat rig coming along, man? For those that haven't seen, Luke's been working on putting together a tricked out rat rig for user a bit nuts. Thing is sweet. Check out his YouTube channel or Twitch if that's your thing. And check out his store, Digital Dragon 3D. Luke was kind enough to sponsor the Faded Conch hot ends that are going into this printer. All 5 of them. Faded Conch pluses. I think they're the ones with like the hardened nozzles and stuff. Yeah, they're like silicon carbide tip nozzles, I think. Yeah, smalls. Oh no. Yeah. No. I'm not going to Wendy's. No. I love you. That's awesome that you won free Frosties for a year, though. I can't. I can't. No, I'm streaming right now. I love it. Bye. My daughter won free Frosties for a year at school and wanted me to pick her up a Frosty and French fries and bring it back to her at school. Martin, thank you for posting up the link. Yeah, Fitness Content Plus and Coat Treats and silicon carbide nozzles. Yeah. Silicon carbide is on. So silicon carbide is what they make the grit on sandpaper out of. So some pretty tough shit. It's an engineered material, kind of like they do the diamonds for Diamondback, right? It's just different material. Looking to pick up that 0.2 nozzle for the project we were discussing last night, LTX. Is anyone planning on building a cascade? You already have a CNC you're working on. Are you really excited to see the Voron community take a subtractive manufacturer? So, I really want a mill. We've talked about this before. I want some sort of CNC capabilities. And I would love to build the Cascade. The Cascade is really small and compact, which I really like. So I've seen the like Milo. It's huge by comparison to the Cascade. And I mean, that all comes down to what you plan on making on the machine. But for me, a Cascade would be a perfect fit. I could fit it onto a shelf, an existing shelf that I'd keep 3D printers on. Hell, I could even put it on the bottom shelf of this workbench. It would be perfect. My problem is I, for the foreseeable future, am not going to have the financial ability to do so. So if anybody wants to sponsor a kit for that, I'll build one, but other than that, I don't see it happening. Wait a minute, I put this together wrong. Or did I? Did I put this together wrong? Shit. The wrong freaking part. This is frustrating. RJ, why didn't you tell me, man? You're trying to sabotage me. You didn't tell me I was doing this wrong the whole time? The whole time, RJ. God damn it. Yeah, so for CNC, I just need something. I really kind of like the Carvera stuff. They come with software. They're just kind of they seem like anyway that they're kind of an out the box. You got all the software, good starting point. Maybe not the most capable machine under the sun, but enough to get me started and to learn it, because I don't know anything, right? And I would have a very long journey towards learning. Yeah, hopefully, I would imagine LDO will put out a kit. I would imagine that they'll be sending some out to content creators. Whether they send one to me or not, who knows? Feel free to reach out to LDO and let them know that you want to see me build one, if you'd like to see me build one. X-Force, yeah, so it's not that I'm not interested in the Milo, it's just that there is so much there at this point, right? My concern with the Milo would be I don't know, there's a lot of mods and stuff to really kind of dig into. There's a couple different versions as well. Yeah, CNCs can get kind of dirty in the in that way. A lot of locksmiths are using X-Horse key cutters, tiny 3-axis mills. Interesting. Oh yeah, because all these new style keys are cut in a totally different way. Yeah, that's kind of been an issue across the board with the Milo. I imagine it's going to be an issue on the Cascade as well. You're just kind of limited to how much you can kind of cut. You're just not going to be able to cut away a whole bunch of material at a time. And also, different materials need different RPM ranges as well, right? To kind of prevent chattering and stuff. Am I accurate on that? Yeah, so you got to remember that there's a lot of different use cases for a machine, right? So for me, let's say I'm going to CNC a bunch of flat parts for making a gantry. I'm making one of them, one set of them for myself. It doesn't matter if I spend an entire week making these half dozen parts. It doesn't matter. If you're trying to use it to make money, it's a business, it's a job, or you're in a situation where you need to turn around parts quickly for whatever reason that may be, then it's not the machine for you, right? If you're cutting large things, then that's not the machine for you. You got to know a bit about what you're going to end up doing with any given piece of equipment, right? Because, like, okay, for instance, if your goal is to do giant prints for cosplay costumes on your 3D printer, then a Prusa Mini is not the printer you need. If you're doing, little parts for, I don't know, building Voron printers, all the parts fit on a V0 bed. So an Orange Storm Giga is not the printer you want to use for that job, you know? You got to know a little bit about what you're planning on doing with it and purchase tools and equipment accordingly. Yeah, bits get expensive not just after a while, but they get expensive fast. So yeah, there's definitely like heat is what kills bits normally, right? So there's a sweet spot there between cutting speed, where if you go too slow, you're gonna wear out your bits. If you go too fast, you're gonna wear out your bits. If you go too slow, bits will break. If you go too fast, bits will break. There's a sweet spot in there. Normally depends on material and stuff like that. Time we got 4:12. All right. Yes. This is one of the projects that, same as the tool head, where I'm gonna build one of them on stream. The other ones I'm building off stream. I was originally planning on building all but one of them off stream and then build the last one on stream, but timing just didn't work out for that. So now we're all building them together. Yeah, that's the thing. There doesn't seem to be much in the way of a DIY consumer maker kind of accessible software for CNC stuff. Like, there's not the equivalent to Orca Slicer kind of software floating about out there. All right, so that at least seems like it's the right freaking height, thank God. Oh, good. More heat sets, guys. More heat sets. 2, 3, 4, 5. So glad we get to do more heat sets. Are you guys excited about the heat sets? I'm excited about the heat sets. The thing that's really pestering me on this is I printed 3 sets of these docks on the Micron. It has a smooth build plate. And then I had some issues. For some reason it wasn't leveling right. And so then I had to print the rest of them on a textured build plate. So there's 2 sets of textured parts and 3 sets of smooth parts. No idea how that's going to go on there. Yep. All right. Insert heat sets into the spring seal bar. 2, 4, 6 per thing. Yay. Holy fuck, y'all. 1. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, LTX, have a good one. Started with Fusion Cam for your workflow. Couldn't justify paying yearly for it. I work mainly in 2D with my machine majority of the time, so I went with Vertex software. So they kind of are doing that. I go back and forth with whether I would rather do all the heat sets all at once before you start assembly, or do it as you go, because it gets monotonous. So I'm not sure if I'd want to sit for 4 hours and do just fucking heat sets, or if I'd rather stop for a minute or 2 as I go and do them. You know, do I want to put 300 heat sets in all at once, or spread that pain out? But I would say probably the best way to go about that is to put a section in there, right? And say, hey, if you want to preload all of your heat sets, here, go to page blah, blah, blah at the end of the manual. And there you will find instructions for every heat set that needs to go in during this assembly process. If not, instructions for where heat sets are to be installed are in this manual as you go. All right, and it just gives people the option either way. Seriously though, running out of heat sets over here. I hate that heat sets are sold in packs of 100. I think that they should come in packs of at least 250. With options to buy them in packs of like 500 and 1,000. And I think a pack of 250 should cost 15 bucks. There's about. Let me go over here and see. And hope to God. What is this piece of paper? Eating instructions for spring break meals. Don't think I need. That'd be a
This
USB
is
cable.
the future.
That'd be a hot end. That'd be more hot ends. That'd be LEDs.
Evolution.
USB cable. That's high.
This is the future.
There's another 100 of them.
Evolution.
But we're definitely gonna need more. Yes, Jonathan, please do. That's a good price. Why everybody insists on selling them in packs of 100 is beyond me. Like at this point, just sell me a 25-pound bag of them, you know? Can I get heat sets by the Gaylord?
This is the future. Human error. Evolution. This is the future.
So boron ones are 3 by 5 by 4s, I think.
Now you got me reaching out. And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out. Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you, to keep you? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, trying so hard not to keep you, to keep you.
That one printed too close to the bed. I think we're gonna be all right. A little bit of elephant's foot on that one. Times and I can get out. Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you, to keep you? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Appreciate it, Jonathan. All right. Bitch, why don't you want to go in? Are you going? I read the wrong size driver, that's why. That's
How long do I gotta keep you?
nice. What did they buy, Luke? Appreciate you, Jonathan. Jonathan's just out there hunting all the deals for us. Oh, they went with the big boy, huh? I know where there's a Cheaty Max 3. But that's not in use. It's been sitting there for shit years at this point since it came out, but I cannot get my hands on it, alas. I don't even know if you can add the Cheaty box to the Cheaty 3s. I'm not sure if they're able to do that. Nice deal, nice deal. It's always nice to make a sale. So are you full-time now with the shop, Luke? I know you were in the process of retiring from your other job. I didn't know if you had fully retired yet from that and made the transition, or if it was still kind of a part-time gig. Do yourself a favor, Jonathan. Grab an assortment that goes like M2 to M5 on the heat sets. You don't have to have a huge assortment, but you will run into situations where you need other sizes. Probably over the weekend there, Tinker and Techie. Oh, okay. Nice. Very nice. So are you enjoying doing the store? I don't hear much about the Creality K-Series printers anymore. That's fair. I imagine there's a bit of a security thing there. I'd love to be able to transition and somehow turn the 3D printing thing into a job. Alas, it's not been something I've found an opportunity to do yet. I say yet because I continue to look. Okay, now we need these things. Seems like we're going to need to adjust the position of this later, it says, so I'm not going to get too fussed with where it is right this second. All right, there should be two more over here. Skyrim, how's it going? It is nice that LDO includes a spare one of these wipers in every kit. Alright, need to go get one out of one of these other kits. For what printer there, Skyrim? Unable to parse option max temp in section heater bed. If you go onto the Discord, there's a channel in there for getting help on stuff. If you can post your config in there, if nobody else looks at it, I'll look at it here this afternoon. But I gotta, after stream, run the old lady to a doctor's appointment, so I'm going to say somebody else is going to beat me to it. That's what I'm saying, Luke. They need to sell them in much larger quantities. Personally, I think the standard quantity should be 500 for, you know, somewhere in that $15 to $20 range. But that's me. Spring steel. Okay, now we got to modular dock assembly. I'm gonna insert this. M3 by 20. Yeah. Essentially what I do normally is I'll get like the assortments that go from M3 by 4s all the way up to M3 by 40s or 45s typically. And I'll order like 2 of them. And I'll do the same thing for button heads, order 2 of those. And then I'll order 1 of the flathead cap screws. So I end up getting a fucking 70-pound package from Amazon, but I try to catch them on sale. Yeah, I don't keep a lot of M4 hardware, and I try to keep a handful. Like I'll order try to keep like a minimum of like 10 of each size of M5s. I don't always have both button and socket heads for that though. Oftentimes I just have one or the other, which leads to me having to modify files often. Oh, I always pull the heat sets out of stuff that I'm scrapping. Generally what I do is as I'm doing a project, I won't do it as I'm doing the project, but I throw it all in anything that needs heat sets removed, I kind of throw in a bin and just kind of keep it off to the side. And then when I'm done a project, I'll go through and pull all the heat sets out. Yeah, it sucks, man. They used to carry M3 hardware and M4 hardware and stuff at the Fastenal store in the town I used to live in back in Jersey. Because I would go there and I would get boxes of 100 of each size when I was doing RC cars. I went to the Fastenal here, and it's a smaller Fastenal. They service like all the factories and stuff, but they kind of focus on stocking a more limited supply of stuff, kind of just what the factories need. So they don't have, I think their hardware starts at an M5, I want to say. And then if you want anything smaller, you gotta special order it. And then I ordered a bunch of hardware from them when I was building my very first stealth burner, because it was shortly after I got into the hobby. I didn't have all the stuff to do it. Particularly, I didn't have the M3x50s and stuff. So I just went over there with a list of the screw sizes that were in a stealth burner and was like, order me, all these, box of 100 of each. And they gave me a price, and it was pretty much in line with what I thought it would cost. I'm like, all right, it'll be here tomorrow. I'm like, all right, great. Come back the next day, pick it up, and they hand me a bag full of screws. They had ordered the exact quantities, not boxes of 100. And I'm like, I paid for boxes of 100. They're like, no, you didn't. Like, yeah, yes, I did. I go through it, I'm like showing them on their website. I'm like, these screws are supposed to be, 3 cents a piece. So they're like, yeah, but if you order them individually, the price is higher. And then you had to pay for shipping. What do you mean I had to fucking pay for shipping? Like, you guys have delivery truck that comes here every day anyway and delivers your stuff. What do you mean I had to pay for delivery? So that was the last time I bought anything from Fastenal, because they've clearly moved from being a place where the public can walk in and buy stuff to just wanting to service factories and stuff like that. So the CNC removal tool looks really cool, right? Basically, you thread something in there, and then you've got a little thing that clips on and kind of like forks around that screw head, heats it up and pulls it out. Great. But holy shit, does that seem like it would take forever to do if you got to remove 100 heat sets. It's not, man. So let's say you go over, oftentimes if you're building a printer, like let's say you've self-sourced a printer, your best bet is to go to like Fabrico, West 3D, KB 3D, even some, there's even some companies on AliExpress that sell screw kits for the printers, right? So you can buy a Trident screw set. You can buy, that's what I did on the switchwire build. The last switchwire build we did, I went to West 3D and bought a switchwire screw set. It cost me like 70 bucks, right? But it comes with all the rolling nuts, everything you need, plus a few extras of everything. And Honestly, I think that's the way to go. Luke, if you're still watching, brother, I've got a couple ideas for, and I know some of the other guys do, for products that you could offer that nobody else is really servicing, that would be a fantastic resource. I know you're a busy guy, so I'll talk with the guys and put together a list and send it over to you, and then you can kind of pick through it and say, okay, this I'm interested in doing, this I'm not interested in doing. These ideas are fucking absurd, you know, whatever. I think I'm going to need to install heat sets in the front of this. I think I missed that somehow. All right. Come on. All right. A lot of assembly on these things. I wish we weren't so stubborn and converted to metric. So tired of hearing, those are Chinese screws, we don't carry them. It's not Chinese, it's the entirety of the rest of the fucking world. But yeah, I agree. We were supposed to convert back in the 80s. And to a certain extent, we did. But Ace Hardware used to carry metric stuff, but even they stopped. They stopped carrying a lot of stuff, actually. But Ace Hardware was like little independently owned hardware stores, just with a chain attached to them, kind of like IGA was for groceries. Yeah, like you buy a car, it's gonna be all metric stuff. You buy equipment, machinery, it's gonna be all metric stuff. It's few and far between for things that use SAE units anymore. I think probably the most common SAE screw you're going to find is quarter 20 stuff, because for some reason all your camera stuff is still on quarter 20. Vince, how's it going? Yeah, you don't want to buy hardware from Home Depot, Lowe's, or Menards, or anything like that. Tractor Supply has some stuff. Rural King has some stuff. But even that is very limited, and at least there they sell it by the fucking pound, not by the individual screw. Yep, definitely supposed to have heat sets in the front of this. Excellent. How did we miss that? Yeah, Tractor Supply. TSC and Rural King are my go-tos for bolts and screws and stuff like that. I mean, if I'm buying drywall screws or construction screws, I go to Lowe's or Menards. I don't have a Home Depot here in my town. It's just Lowe's and Menards. But if I need hardware, nuts and bolts and stuff, I go there because I can buy it by the freaking pound. And they have all the different grades of bolts, right? So if I'm putting something together and I need you know, fucking grade 8 bolts for it. I'm definitely not going to Lowe's. Is going to charge me freaking $7 a bolt. Thumb guards. I've never been in one of those. Yeah, go check Tractor Supply. Their stock of like M3 stuff is very limited. Remember that they're going to be stocking most of the stuff that you would need to work on machinery and equipment, tractors and stuff like that. So you're not gonna have a whole lot there, but they do carry some. So if I grab the right driver. Yeah, they do typically have a decent selection of M5 stuff. One. Yeah, so if you're in a rural area, there's a good chance farmers need to fix their shit. There's a good chance that there's a supply of stuff near you. Honestly, better than if you live in a big city. Yeah, Fastenal is a bit of a, like I said, my last experience was absolutely terrible. But again, we have a small Fastenal like branch that services the factories here. I'm just dumping these. I can't deal with not being able to find the screws I need. '30s, '20s. All right. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Almost done with these docks, I think.
I could always be the one you wanna call when it's cold outside. I will always be the one that's right here standing by your side. Open up your heart and let me in. I promise not to break you. I promise I'll be all.
Okay, what's next?
So let me in my heart before.
Secure the frame to the base. By 40s. Okay. trying to screw into? Swear to God, if I missed more heat sets. I need M3x50s. M3x40s are for the stubby ducks. Lovely. All right. 3x40. I'm 3x50. I'm gonna have to dig through all the other boxes of dock stuff to get the rest of the M50s. Back plate. And 3x10s. Okay. How does this assortment go from 6, 4, 6, 8, 12? No 10s. There's supposed to be like a little wiper thing that goes on here. How's that go? It's not in here. It shows it in the dock assembly being there, but it doesn't tell me how to do it. Is it over here? It's not over here. Modular dock over with you. Yeah, no, so what I'm talking about is there's supposed to be, on the back of this, there's two different styles. One is for like a little bamboo wiper thing, and the other one is, I guess, a rigid version. And I've got nothing in here for how in the hell that goes together. I'm assuming it uses a little piece of PTFE tube.
Saber blade.
One moment, please.
Seek the light in darkness.
Yeah, so I think they,
Saber blade.
so the frame, I think, is the short frame. It's the short frame,
Seek the light
but
in
it's
darkness.
the standard length of this. It's not the little stubby one. Also, I have no idea how in the hell these go on. That doesn't fit in there. So I'm thinking screw. And it needs some sort of screw. My powers of deduction. It's not a 12. It's not a 16. Seems to be a 14. But it's definitely not an M3 either. Fuck. And 2.5 by 8. 2.5 by 16s. Two self-tappings aren't what we need either. All right, well, if anybody knows how these wipers are supposed to go together, please send me a message on the Discords and let me know. But outside of that, we've got one dock together. I gotta go through, pull the M3x50s out of the other dock kits. But there we go, dock assembled. And then it will go in here like so. Yes. Very good, very good. Shit. I'm definitely going to need to move these rails up. It is all-wheel drive, yes. It is an all-wheel drive gantry. But we used Vitali's CNC rigid Z-mounts, which removed approximately 40 millimeters of Z travel height. So the shuttle won't reach up high enough without running these carriages off these rails. So I either need to raise the rails up or we need to get longer MGN 9 rails for this. I'm not using the stubby docks, no. So we are using the ones for the door buffer one. Whatever the instructions recommended for the door buffers. So there is quite a bit of room here. Because this has to be set back enough for the shuttle to be able to come forward enough. But the issue I have is that we don't have enough Z travel up to get this all the way up to the docks. So I'm going to need to move these rails up. So I'm gonna have to make a spacer, print it, and move those vertically. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna move them all up. I'm just gonna make a spacer to raise them up. I'm gonna get a measurement and see how far up I've got to raise them. Anyway, guys, with that being said, we're going to take it over to the building department. Then I'm going to let you guys go for the day. If you want to support the things we do, consider becoming a channel member. I've got 5 gifted memberships left. We're going to go ahead and send those now. To join the Garage Crew. So, Tinkering Techie, welcome to the Garage Crew. Josh Eden, Brett Ferguson, Aaron Barrel, and Will F. Welcome. Outside of that, guys, there's merch. There's some new stuff on there. I just put it on there yesterday. There's we do these things not because they're easy, but because we thought they would be easy stuff. I'll see if I can pull it up real quick because I think it's pretty cool. Let me pull it up real quick. Hang with me for 1 second. Check this out. You're gonna like it. Promise you're gonna like it. Let's see. All right, so here we are. We do these things not because they are easy, but because we thought they would be easy. We've got that in a tumbler. We've got the if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense hat. Then we've got a t-shirt, Garage Crew on the front. That we do these things not because they're easy logo on the back. And then the if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense logo on the sleeve. And then we've got the if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense tumbler. And then of course we've got swimwear for Murph. Everybody needs swimwear for Murph. Then we got some How We Do It stuff, and we got all the other merch that we got. Merch sales generate a few bucks here and there. I don't make very much on any of it. It's just all in good fun. I enjoy making it. I enjoy designing it, having fun with it, and hopefully you guys find it fun and entertaining too. Outside of that, guys, take it easy. We'll be back here again probably tomorrow. I don't know what's on the calendar. I will look, but I'm going to try to be back here again tomorrow. We'll finish installing docks, and then I'm going to start obviously don't have belts yet, but I'm going to start with some electronics install and stuff like that. We're going to keep pushing this thing forward. We got to push it forward. So we might be doing things out of a typical order, but that's what we're going to do. Also might install the top hat because that'll get rid of a box. Although it might turn the box into a bigger thing that I got to find a place to put, but whatever. We gotta move forward, right? Forward march. Outside of that, guys, have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.